sneak into the trash can before her audition. She'd come up against the Nivola sisters before. Everyone had. Theoretically, there were only the two of them, but given how omnipresent they were, Adele suspected there were at least 8. Their names graced every playbill, every tabloid gossip page, every donated wing in a 20-mile radius. Honor and Gracie Nivola rode upon the coattails of their parents with the intensity of a chariot rider avenging a loved one's death. And what impressively tailored coattails they were. A celebrity narcotic mother, the force behind the anti-homeless infrastructure that broke skateboarders' arms and spiked pigeons, and an aging oil magnate father who had not cast a reflection since the earliest days of his career. It wasn't that the Nivola twins weren't good. They were devastatingly beautiful. They sang like Dolly. They moved like Jagger. And with their promises of support from the bank of Mom and Dad, they swept the floors with their competition like a possessed Swiffer. Who'd turn down a supremely talented cast member who'd also pay the wardrobe bill and arrange for your musical to have its own limited edition branded Prosecco? As Honor Nivola took to the stage, Richard clapped his hands and then clasped them as though he were crushing a butterfly inside them. "I think we've found our Belle." Not a butterfly, just Adele's dreams. I need to venti. Standing at her favorite sink in the plushly carpeted Art Deco bathroom of the Sun Theatre, Adele splashed her face with water, then dabbed herself dry with the toilet paper she'd stolen from one of the booths. Hugging the roll, she slumped down on one of the creaky leather couches in the powder room area. Now, she knew how Nessarose and Wicked felt. This was where tenacity and hard work got you, squished by a house. At least in Adele's case, it was a metaphorical house. Although, having grown up in Tennessee, being squished by an actual house was a very real fear every time the tornado sirens went off. Having appeared with the silent, black-clad grace of a stagehand, Ekaterina waved a flask beneath Adele's nose. "You look like a girl in need of some emotional support vodka." Adele flinched. The vodka was more rousing than bath salts. "I think you accidentally bought floor cleaner." "Keeps the insides fresh." Flicking her pink hair, Ekaterina looped her arm through Adele's, playing the cheerful friend, which was usually Adele's job. Adele wiped her nose with a strip of toilet paper. "What if I'm just not meant to do this?" "Of course you are," said Alejandro, touching up their hair by the mirror. Alejandro's magnificent coif required constant retouching. "What else are you going to do with your life?" Adele couldn't decide whether that was a motivational statement or a demotivational one. "How about we people watch at the park?" suggested Ekaterina. "It's wet, so there'll be dogs in raincoats, your favorite." Adele did love dogs in raincoats, but not right now. She needed a cry, just not the happy type that dachshunds in frog hats and Pomeranians in plastic jackets inspired. An ugly cry, with clumped eyelashes and a mouth twisted in rictus. An ending of La La Land type of crying. "I'll catch up with y'all later. I need a few." "Be good to yourself." Ekaterina's purple lips came in for a quick kiss on the cheek. "Remember, cheap wine is as effective as the expensive stuff." "Wiser words have never been spoken," added Alejandro. The duo flounced out. Ugh. Adele's phone was at it again. She let it ring out. She wasn't in the mood to tell Mom about her latest failure. Her parents were always so supportive, and Adele was, well, not quite meeting expectations, as her 9th grade report card had said. That had been the year she'd discovered musical theater. After unwrapping the commiseration cake pop Richard had given her, she shoved it in her mouth. The confection was drier than Adele's pipeline of work. She sighed. She'd spent her entire 20s and these first few years of her 30s chasing the dream of, all right, not exactly stardom, but something in its orbit.